Welcome back to High Stakes. Today, we will be discussing the following NFL matches that is happening on Sunday, November 26th, 2023. We will be providing our team, total, and prop picks for the day. Before we get started, please remember to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. If you want access to our premium picks, you can check out our Patreon page. You can find the link to our Patreon page in the description and comment section below. Buffalo Bills vs. Philadelphia Eagles. The Bills' offensive resurgence faced a formidable Jets defense, with Josh Allen spearheading Buffalo's offensive charge to nearly 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. Despite the Jets' defensive resilience, Buffalo's offense managed a noteworthy performance, converting 5 out of 13 third-down attempts, albeit struggling in the red zone with just a 25% success rate. However, the Bills' defense shined with 6 sacks and 2 interceptions while holding the Jets to a dismal 0-11 on third-down conversions. Buffalo's average of 26.7 points per game ranks them 6th in the league, a mark they surpassed only once in their last 4 games. However, the recent offensive display indicated a positive shift. Their ability to gain 6.0 yards per play showcases their proficiency in advancing downfield and sustaining drives, especially excelling in third-down conversions at a rate exceeding 48%. Inside the red zone, their effectiveness persists, with a 65.9% touchdown conversion rate. Nonetheless, an area of concern remains with Allen occasionally attempting risky plays, resulting in interceptions. The change in offensive coordinator is anticipated to refine this aspect. Despite these hiccups, Allen's adaptability, aided by ample pocket time and adept scrambling, keeps Buffalo's sack rate among the lowest in the league. While James Cook leads the ground game with 5.0 yards per carry, the team's reliance on the passing game has been evident, emphasizing the need for offensive versatility on the road. Defensively, Buffalo allows an average of 17.3 points per game, ranking them 5th in the league, though they've struggled to maintain this standard in recent games. Their challenge lies in improving their third-down stops, conceding an average of 5.2 yards per play, which contributes to opponents' sustained drives. Despite a strong red zone defense holding opponents to a 47% touchdown rate, the Jets found success in their solitary red zone attempt. The Bills' Achilles heel has been their rush defense, giving up an average of 4.5 yards per carry, but they've managed to limit opponents to around 110 rushing yards per game. Notably, their pass rush disrupts opposing quarterbacks, evident from previous matchups, showcasing the potential to disrupt the Eagles' passing game. Additionally, the secondary's ability to secure interceptions remains a defensive asset. Buffalo's strategy against the Eagles hinges on tightening their rush defense to force Philadelphia into passing situations, essential for a successful upset on the road. Philadelphia arrived in Kansas City seeking vengeance and emerged triumphant. Despite trailing 17-7 at halftime, the Eagles shut down the Chiefs in the latter 2 quarters, clinching a 21-17 victory. Jalen Hurts primarily impacted the game with his rushing, managing just 150 passing yards and 1 interception while dashing for 2 touchdowns and nearly 30 rushing yards. Devonta Smith emerged as a key target, amassing 6 receptions for 99 yards, including a pivotal 40-yard catch that positioned the Eagles for a crucial lead-changing touchdown inside the 5-yard line. The defense secured 1 sack and forced 2 turnovers in the red zone, contributing significantly to the win. Philadelphia enters this upcoming game averaging 27.3 points per game, ranking them 5th in the league. Prior to their clash with Kansas City, they had surpassed this mark in 3 consecutive matchups. Boasting 5.4 yards per play, the Eagles lead the league in third-down conversion proficiency. With a success rate of over 48% on third downs, Jalen Hurts' mobility has notably contributed to their effectiveness. Improving significantly in the red zone, they now rank in the top 10, converting nearly 60% of their attempts, a perfect record displayed against Kansas City. The Eagles heavily rely on their rushing game, supported by what's arguably the league's best offensive line for run blocking. However, Hurts often faces pressure in the passing game, leading to sacks or interceptions. Against Buffalo's potent pass rush, it will be crucial for Philadelphia's offense to emphasize the ground game and for the offensive line to provide Hurts ample time during passing situations. Defensively, Philadelphia allows an average of 21.2 points per game, placing them 16th in the league. In 2 of their last 3 games, opponents have exceeded this defensive benchmark. Yielding 5.2 yards per play has hindered the Eagles' ability to halt opponents' drives. Currently, opponents convert on 43% of their third down attempts, with Kansas City capitalizing on nearly half of theirs in the previous game. Struggling in the red zone, the Eagles have allowed touchdowns on 62.5% of opponents' trips inside the 20-yard line, placing them in the bottom 10 in the league. Conversely, their run defense has been robust, limiting opponents to under 80 rushing yards per game. However, the pass defense faces challenges, struggling to secure interceptions and allowing a 65% completion rate by quarterbacks. The secondary will need to be opportunistic against Allen, capitalizing on potential errant throws and generating turnovers. The Eagles are entering this matchup on the heels of an emotionally charged victory, notably against the team that defeated them in the Super Bowl. Conversely, the Buffalo Bills find themselves in a somewhat precarious position, facing the urgency of needing wins to keep their playoff hopes alive. Josh Allen's turnover issues have been evident, but the Eagles' secondary hasn't excelled in securing interceptions. Similarly, Philadelphia has faced challenges in stopping opponents on third downs and in the red zone. In contrast, Buffalo ranks in the top 10 for red zone defense and possesses a formidable pass rush that could pressure Jalen Hurts in the pocket. The suggestion here is to consider taking the points with Buffalo as the underdog. Regarding the point spread, Buffalo is getting +3 points. The Bills have struggled to contain the run, which has been a notable strength for the Eagles over the past couple of seasons. Additionally, both offenses have displayed proficiency in moving the chains on third downs, indicating an ability to sustain drives effectively. Buffalo has shown strength in the red zone, an aspect that is anticipated to continue in this matchup. Philadelphia's flawless red zone performance from the previous week, coupled with their capability to make high-impact plays when it matters, suggests the potential for significant plays in this game. The suggestion leans towards taking the over on the total points scored, set at 48.5. Kansas City Chiefs versus Las Vegas Raiders. The current season has seen Kansas City maintain a 7-3 record, positioning themselves as the leading team in the AFC West Division. However, recent matches have been a bit turbulent for the Chiefs, as they've faced setbacks in 2 out of their last 3 games. Both the Broncos and Eagles managed to outplay Kansas City, interrupting their winning streak. The only victory amidst these losses was against Miami and Germany, sandwiched between the defeats. The most recent game, played on Monday, November 20th, ended in a 21-17 loss to the Eagles. Despite holding a 17-7 lead at halftime, the Chiefs faced a recurring issue of struggling in the second half, resulting in their 3rd consecutive game without scoring any points post-halftime. Across these games, they've only managed a meager 53 points in the latter halves. The opportunity to turn the game around presented itself, but a critical drop pass during a deep throw from Patrick Mahomes to Marquez Valdes-Scantling dashed their hopes. Mahomes had a subpar performance, throwing for just 177 yards on 14-for-43 passing against the Eagles, with 2 interceptions. The running game showed some promise, with Isaiah Pacheco leading with 89 rushing yards. Touchdowns in the loss were scored by wide receivers Justin Watson and Travis Kelce. Mahomes' overall stats for the season revealed 2,619 passing yards, completing 67% of his throws, tallying 19 touchdowns, and unfortunately, 9 interceptions. Meanwhile, Pacheco has emerged as a significant running force for the Chiefs, averaging 4.3 yards per carry and scoring 3 touchdowns. In terms of defense, Drew Tranquill stands out as the top tackler for the team with 63 tackles. The defensive duo of Chris Jones and George Karlaftis has been instrumental in applying pressure, accumulating 7.5 and 7 sacks, respectively. L'Jarius Sneed leads the interceptions department, securing 2 interceptions this season. Mahomes expressed his commitment to persistently push forward, stating, "They know I'm going to keep firing it." However, he acknowledged the collective offensive struggle, admitting they haven't reached the desired level at this point in the season, attributing responsibility to himself and the team. Looking ahead, the Chiefs face uncertainty with wide receiver Mecole Hardman Jr. and Jerick McKinnon listed as questionable for the upcoming game. Statistically, the Chiefs average 22.5 points per game, ranking 14th in the league. Their passing game remains potent, securing the 6th position with an average of 255 yards per game. However, their ground game is middling, averaging 110 yards and ranking 15th in the league. On the defensive front, Kansas City has been sturdy, conceding an average of 16.4 points per game, ranking 3rd. Their passing defense stands out, allowing only 170.8 yards per game, fourth in the league. However, their rush defense ranks 18th, permitting opponents to gain 112 yards on the ground. Regarding their performance against the spread, Kansas City holds a 6-4 record for this season. On the road, they've maintained a balanced 2-2 record against the spread. Additionally, when they're considered two-possession favorites, they hold a 2-1 record against the spread. The under has prevailed in 8 out of 10 games played by the Chiefs this season, and when playing away, the under has been successful in 3 out of 4 games. This season, the Las Vegas Raiders stand at a 5-6 record overall and currently hold the 3rd position in the AFC West, trailing behind the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. A pivotal change occurred when the Raiders parted ways with Josh McDaniels a few weeks ago. Since then, the team has shown improvement under interim head coach Antonio Pierce, securing victories in 2 of their last 3 games leading up to the upcoming Sunday match. In their recent outing on Sunday, November 19th, the Raiders faced a 20-13 defeat against the Miami Dolphins. Despite holding a 10-7 lead at halftime, Miami's 13-3 second-half surge tipped the scales in their favor. Raiders quarterback Aiden O'Connell had a mixed performance, throwing for 271 yards on 24 for 41 passing, resulting in 1 touchdown but 3 interceptions. Running back Josh Jacobs contributed 39 yards on 14 carries, while Davante Adams led the receiving corps with 7 catches for 82 yards and a touchdown. Following the benching of Jimmy Garoppolo, rookie Aiden O'Connell stepped up, accumulating 946 passing yards with a completion rate of 62%. However, he's also faced challenges, throwing 3 touchdowns and 6 interceptions this season. Meanwhile, Jacobs has maintained an average of 3.3 yards per carry and scored 5 rushing touchdowns, while Adams has averaged 11.6 yards per reception and secured 4 touchdowns. Defensively, the Raiders are anchored by Robert Spillane, leading the team with 94 tackles and 3 interceptions. Max Crosby has been a force on the line, tallying an impressive 10.5 sacks this season. Expressing the significance of home field advantage, interim head coach Antonio Pierce emphasized the team's reliance on the energy from the home crowd, calling upon Raider Nation to rally behind them. He urged for the Allegiant Stadium to become a fortress and the Black Hole to create an intimidating atmosphere to uplift the team's performance. Regarding player statuses for the upcoming game, safety Marcus Epps, tackle Colton Miller, corner Jack Jones, safety Trayvon Moehrig, linebacker Robert Spillane, and defensive end Max Crosby are all listed as questionable. Crosby, in particular, seems likely to miss his first game in a 5-year career. Statistically, the Raiders average 16.8 points per game, ranking 26th in the league. Their rushing attack is notably weak, standing as the 2nd worst with only 79 yards per game. Through the air, they accumulate 198 passing yards per game, ranking 23rd. Defensively, the Raiders allow an average of 20.5 points per game, sitting at 13th in the NFL. They're relatively strong against the pass, conceding 210 yards per game, 11th in the league, but struggle against the run, giving up an average of 132 yards per game, 6th highest. In terms of their performance against the spread, the Raiders hold a 6-4-1 record this season. They have covered in 3 consecutive games leading up to the upcoming Sunday clash. Notably, when playing at home, Las Vegas boasts a 4-1 record against the spread. Additionally, they stand at 3-1 against the spread when playing as underdogs this year. The Kansas City Chiefs have notably struggled in the second half throughout this season, and it seems unlikely that this issue will be swiftly resolved, especially in their upcoming game against the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas has showcased a formidable defense this year, notably with Max Crosby's outstanding performance. Given the Chiefs' offensive challenges, the Raiders might find themselves in a favorable position to make significant moves during the game. Predicting a low-scoring affair, I believe Las Vegas has a good chance of keeping the game tight and covering the spread. The influence of the home field advantage could play a pivotal role, potentially resulting in a slide for the Chiefs and a strong showing by the Raiders. My suggestion would be to take the Raiders with the points to cover. Notably, the under bet has been successful in 9 out of 12 games played by the Raiders this season, including 8 out of 10 Chiefs games. Moreover, when playing away, the Chiefs have witnessed the under prevailing in 3 out of 4 instances. Their scoring has been limited, with the Chiefs surpassing 21 points only once in their last 5 games, while the Raiders have managed to exceed 16 points just once in their last 5 matchups. Anticipate a defensive showdown when these divisional rivals collide. Therefore, I recommend placing a bet on the under for Sunday's game, expecting a defensive-oriented matchup between these two teams.